Good morning, Bruce. I can see you there. Thank you for jumping in real early. Sorry, I'm just getting it started. No, that's not right. Select stream 12. I'm going to be editing the map. It would probably make sense to pull the map up. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along today. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Starting a little bit late today. Sorry about that. That's my fault. I was up late last night. Trying to recover. Hi, everybody. We're going to do what you normally do when testing a map. If you're building a map, especially a map, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I will keep mentioning it over and over and over. Anytime you make changes to a map, you have to start a new save game. That's the important thing, is the new save game. It's the vision of what the user sees the first time they log into the game. And so what we need to do as developers is make sure that that experience is as best as possible, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in to the map and see the map as a new user would see it, a new player would see it every time, and make sure that it's clean as possible. So we're going to come in here. I'm not going to do anything major. And I'm just going to go hit new farmer, easy mode, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to deselect the other mods that are in my folder. We still have our icon. If you remember, we actually created this icon from a photo that was in the zip file. And it turns out, actually, SMBModding messaged me this morning, and he had a lot of really nice things to say. And he really enjoyed the video that we did yesterday. So we're going to continue on that. One thing he wanted to mention was that this photo is actually from Harrison Farms in real life. It's a real life tractor. And that looks like a Kloss tractor with a corn header. So maybe today, when we set up the default equipment for this farm, we'll make sure to set that up just like it exists on that farm. That would be pretty cool. I don't think we'll be able to use the gold edition because you need to be you need to have that special version of the game to do that, but we'll do our best. All right. Let's get into the game and see what we've done. I'll catch you up with what we've changed. As you can see as the game loads, because I always have my console open to watch, we're getting a lot less errors. There are still a few errors here and there, but this used to be yellow and red, the whole thing. And the number of errors has gone down substantially. Which is partly a testament to what I've been working on, but also because we're fixing things and we're making it better. And I think that's the important part here, is what we're trying to do is improvements. Actually, you know what? I wanted to change this stream title. I wanted to change the title to improvements, because that's what we're doing right here. I mean, it was a perfectly good map. It was perfectly playable. What we're doing is improving it, right? We're making it better. All right, here we are. We're back in the map. As you can see, nothing much has changed. which is the intention here. We're not trying to change the map. We're not trying to completely reskin the map, because then it would be a different map. It wouldn't be Harrison Farm. So I haven't changed anything. The fields are the same. What I've done, the only thing that I have changed is the farmlands, and I think that we're doing that to make it a little bit more playable. We started doing that in the stream yesterday, where we're kind of painting the farmland pixel by pixel. But let's look. I'm done now. I spent a couple hours on it last night. Let's see what we've done. So let's go into our mode, farmland. So now, here's our whole map. And we have the entire map buyable now. Every piece of the map is buyable. So we have Farm 3, which is our farm. And if we zoom in, and I'm going to zoom in on a lot of these. If you zoom in, you can see that it's pretty accurate and close to the edges of the field, right? There's no extra little pieces. If we click around, this is the next field above us. This is field 5. So all of these extra little bits and pieces around field 5 are included, which means you could merge this into a big square field if you wanted to. Field 2, Farmland 2. This little piece inside Farmland 2 is now part of Farmland 2. Farmland 1, right across the street. That little piece right here in the middle of Farmland 1 is now included. The little icon for 1 is in the middle of the field, not down here in the corner. Little things like that across everywhere. 11, 24, 23, all the ones that are up against the edge of the map. They also include this little piece on the edge of the map, just in case you want to make your field bigger. 22, like 21 now includes these places around field 21. Field 20, again, these are right up edge to edge, which means that if I buy this field, I can cut down the trees that are in the middle, because there are a few trees in the middle, sell these couple pieces of property, and I'll be good. The other thing I was trying to do, and I'm not sure if it was 100% successful, but it does look pretty good, is, as you can see, the little red lines are not here anymore. Taking the red lines out. And what I'm doing is trying to scale the map image, the ones in the background. Scale it to better match the farmlands, and it looks like I'm getting pretty close. Looks like now there's a little bit of a shadow underneath the fields, which means I might need to move it up by a pixel. And we can talk about that later. The other thing I changed is we added field 25. Now, from here, I've added a bunch to the map. Oh, look at that. I just saw a bug. See that right there? Field 25. If I click on field 25, it highlights this area down here. I must have missed something. It's okay. We'll fix it later. So I added a couple new fields. We got farmland 31, 32. Now these are owned by the forester because these are forestry, but they're not really truly forestry because there's no forestable trees in there. They're just regular oaks and aspens and stuff like that. I'll have to reach out to SMB and ask him if it would be okay to put some forestable trees in there, because right now we do have a couple forestry areas on the map. We have these two fields right here, which would be great for forestry. We have this one right here, which is where the sawmill is. And then we have this one right here, which I added. This is field 40, which this over here is all trees, but they're not really nice to harvest trees, which means doing forestry of any kind might be a little tricky. So it might be worthwhile to either replace these trees, maybe just replace them is a good idea. Basically take the trees that are there and replace them with forestable trees. And so it'll be kind of be a mixture. It won't be perfect for forestry. That wasn't the intention of this map, but we can make it better for forestry if we try just a little bit. This little section down here is all going to be buyable. We can buy the town now, which is right here where there's a bunch of houses, and we're going to talk about the houses today. That's going to be a big thing we work on today. And then down here along the town area, you have the chance to buy the town. You have a chance to buy the places where there's houses, the deco houses, and you can remove those houses. And that's what we'll be working on today. Down here we have this big open grass field and this big open grass field, which are just open fields. There's nothing there. Open grassland. If you wanted to turn those into something, you could. This right here, there's a bunch of houses along here, but there's nothing else. We could add a couple more things, maybe decoration, but for the most part, it's nothing else. And I'd like to leave it that way so that someone could come in, buy this piece of land, and make a farm right here. If you think about it, if you look at it, hey, you have this big field, these fields across the street. This right here would be a perfect spot for a nice custom farm. And so we're going to enable the player to turn that into a custom farm without really changing the map very much. We're going to make it so they can build their own farm there. We've got farm 27 and 28, which are now very nicely kind of wrapped around each other. 26 is should contain this area down here. We'll have to fix that. And all of the rest of the farms are nicely... They don't highlight anything else, other areas of the map. Farmland 4 comes with the farm you get. So if you want to buy Farmland 4 right here, I don't like how this thing shows up. You'll get Farmland 4, you'll get the farm, and you'll get all of the areas inside the farm, which is super important, right? That's really what we want. Get that away.
Time to kick some bare ass. Haha, closet.
So that's our plan for today. So, plan for today is we're gonna see if we can fix this thumbnail. We're gonna see if we can fix a few more errors that are in the log, and then we're gonna make all of the houses on the entire map sellable. And it's actually not as hard as it seems, and I'll show you the step-by-step process on how to do it. And one of the things we have to talk about when we get into that is what is a pre-placed house and what is a placeable, like a placeholder. What's the difference between those when you're building a map? That's super important. And we'll get into that. But first, we got to fix this farmland issue. Or was it? I don't even remember. 25. So 25 includes this little area here. Now, and I'll show you why I missed it. Because I didn't realize I missed it till just now. But this is why I missed it. So we're back in the map. This is NGE. Nothing's highlighted because I haven't clicked on anything yet. We haven't really changed the map at all. But number one, there's a bunch of trees here. So I'm getting to look at the area where I need to edit. It's a bunch of trees here. So first of all, let's hide the trees. And the level border trees. No, that's not the tree I want to hide. I want to hide this tree. In GE, if you click on the middle of the scroll bar, it scrolls much faster. This one right here, we're going to hit visibility and turn them off. They're still there, but we just turn them off. We don't want to see them. We're going to go in info layer paint mode. Come down here at the bottom, select farmlands. Now, if you look, it's really hard to see, but this is farmland 26, and this is it's so hard to see. They're actually two different colors. And we'd have to hide the foliage to actually see that. But they're two different colors. And the only way to highlight it is to come down here and select Farmland 25. And you're like, oh, wait. Farmland 25 shouldn't be down here at all. That's not supposed to be there. This is supposed to be Farmland 26. So I want to make sure that this white goes all the way to the edges, because that's where it's supposed to be. That's kind of silly. And so we're just going back to our normal, same thing we've been doing, where we just paint like that. And we're just painting pixels. Not that hard. And actually, you know what we'll do is we'll have this field go closer to this field, so there's a little bit less grassland. And I don't remember what field that is. Let's finish painting up the side before we forget, because we will forget. There we go. So now this whole area is owned by one field. And then we're going to go to farmland 35. Oh my gosh, I guessed it right. We're going to go up a little bit closer to the field. That's about the gap that I've been doing. There we go. And we're done with our farmland editing. That was the last little bit of farmland editing. That's good. Let's turn the trees back on because they really help us kind of get a feel for the map. Okay, so we have the trees. Actually, I don't want to see the trees. I just want them to be there. So right now, I've separated this area into 2 zones. Up here, if I remember correctly. Anyways, this area here is one zone, and then this area over here is another zone. And now I know this is different to the map, and this is something I'll have to check with SMBModding, but one thing that this map is missing, which, considering the amount of grass on the map, it might be something worthwhile to add, would be a BGA. Or somewhere to sell a BGA, somewhere to sell your BGA stuff. And then the other thing that would be nice to add would be an animal dealer. Both of which would be really nice to add, and I think that we should think about adding them. The animal dealer, I think, will go really good right here in this spot, because this is like our industrial area a little bit, right? So I think the animal dealer would go really good right here in this spot. We do something simple, not make it kind of crazy, just, and then be able to have that NPC here too, which would be cool. And it would follow the pattern of the map, where there's kind of like stuff interspersed with other stuff, right? And it's a good space. But then this area back here, I was thinking this area back here would be a really great kind of production area to add. As you can see, we added the coop, the co-op, and I think this is just going to be a sell point in the map. This is your fertilizer, lime, and whatnot buying and selling stations. These are from a mod pack called co-op. It's a farmer's co-op. Those are buying stations essentially. This is a selling station. But then right behind the selling station, it'd be kind of good to like kind of do a road back here, like to come over here and have it come in like this, do a road that loops around, and then have a BGA right here. And just a small one, not a big one. Maybe a BGA and or a heating plant. So you have 2 more sources for selling that kind of stuff, which would make a gameplay a little bit better, I think. And then the other thing we want to do is I want to add water back here. There needs to be water. What are we going to do first? Let's add the water first. So if I want water, I want the outside land water. Where's the best place to get it? The best place to get it's going to be from the US map. Like, I don't need to make up something. Open a new window. So from the US map, we're going to go to our data folder, maps US, mapus.i3d. We're going to open up Riverbend Springs. Now, the biggest asset you have as a developer is the base game. As a map developer, and the way Giants produces things, they want you to use the base game assets. And in some ways, they want you to kind of reimagine them, right? So anything that's in the base game, you have access to use. So for instance, this body of water right here, or rather these bodies of water planes, and hopefully they separated them because I don't want them all. So the river, which is over here, it's right there. And this, where's this other, so like they got little ponds and stuff like that. Aha, water plane 5 is this one. So if I want to put this on our map, all I have to do is file, export selection. Then we're going to pick our map folder. We're going to put it here. Water plane 05. Done. Right? And then we switch over to our map. File, import. Water plane 05. Done. And as you can see, it's even positioned in the right place. And then we're going to move this up all the way up here. Move it up right there for a second. Then we have to close down all the trees because I don't want to see them. I don't want to have to scroll through all that. So the background, we're going to put the water plane in the background because it is part of the background. The water plane here. And we can change the height of it a little bit if we want. Like that. And now you're not going to really be able to see this, but when you're over here near this, you'll be able to see it. The only downside is this road right here kind of just drives off into the water. And without actually like completely changing the map, like just visually changing it, we can't really do much about that without changing the background area. So I'm going to leave it just because it's kind of funny. But technically you'd want to change that, and you'd want to be able to maybe even just not having this here. Yeah, let's just do that. So that it doesn't drive off the map. So that this road basically leads to your farmer's market. And it doesn't seem like you're driving off into nothingness. So the easiest way to do that is just to come in here and go to the paint mode. Pick your brush. We're going to pick grass. Make my brush smaller. Click. Or not. Maybe I won't click. Okay, it didn't like that I had two maps open and GE crashed. We're going to have to do that again. That's okay. It is what it is. GE crashes, which is one of the reasons why when you're using GE, you got to make sure you're saving as frequently as possible, because it happens. It's just how, I mean, it opens up pretty quickly, you know, whatever. All right, so let's fix this again. I'm going to fix the grass right here before I fix the water plane, because the water plane takes up some energy and some processing power, I'm guessing. Not gravel, I want grass. These are my brushes. And when you're painting, all you gotta do is select the right kind of painting, and then you paint. And that's it. And so we're just gonna add some grass in here. And make sure there's grass underneath these bushes that are along the edge. And then if I want to paint some grass, we're just going to come in here and paint some grass. Pick meadow. Harvest ready. Like this. Paint some grass along the edge here. Great. Put some grass underneath these bushes just to fill it out a little bit. Now the reason it's not painting over the bushes is because they're on a different layer. And then we're going to come in here like this. And we're going to do what I like to do, which is just like take your brush, make it really small, and then go one size down. And so we're going to intersperse this, just a little bit of not harvest ready grass, which gives it that visual kind of changes. We'll pick some bushes, put some bushes in here, and put some trees in here too, so it looks like it was intentional. So Deco Bush US. Pick some bush. Dynamite 02. What is a Dynamite 02? Let's look. Oh, it looks like that. I don't know what these bushes look like, so instead of painting over the area I want, I'm going to paint over this open area here. Water elm? No. Pawpaw? What the hell's a pawpaw? That's not bad. Of course, we'll remove these, so we don't need them. And Deco Bush. Hazelnut Big, maybe? Yeah, sure. Get some hazelnuts in here. Boxwoods. Super big. What does super big mean? Looks like he's been using super big on this map a little bit. So I'm going to use super big also, because that's what the map author's been using. same old is not really that awesome. So we're gonna do super big and some other ones. Maybe get some other, the hazelnut ones, which are kind of like complementary in these bushes that are here around the selling plate. You know? There we go. Clean that up. And then we'll connect the trees. So the best way to connect trees, if you want to just quickly place a few trees, you can get out of foliage paint mode. You're going to take a tree that you want. You're going to hit Control D to duplicate, Control B to place, and then click where you want it. And for the most part, you want to like make sure that the trees you're placing, Control D, Control B, are different and then rotated. Because when there's 2 or 3 trees in the same place that are not rotated, you totally see it. And it's kind of gross. There's one spot over here that I rotated already, where these 4 trees in a line are all the same tree, and they were all rotated exactly the same. They're all rotated the same, and because they were rotated the same, just like you could tell that they were perfectly in line. And for something like that, I'd actually want to like move them slightly out of line just to make sure they're not in a perfectly straight line. Because visually, when you have trees or something like that in a perfectly straight line, you can tell they're in a line. Like these trees here, you can tell they're in a line along the road, which is fine, but you don't really want that all the time. So let's hit save. So we fix that little place here where the map was driving off the road into nothing. Let's go ahead and import the water plane again. So we're going to come in here, trees, background. Now, what you select here doesn't matter when you're importing. When you're importing, it just comes to the bottom. And then I'm going to put it in background. Click on it one more time. Raise it up. Because I want kind of high water here. And I understand that there's some trees in the water, but I don't care. Fills out this valley, which is nice. And then over here, there's also a river over here. And we can go ahead and save. Hopefully we can get it to do it without crashing, but we can pull in the Riverbend Springs River and fill in this river. So what we'll do is we'll do what we did it before. We're going to open up Riverbend Springs. Even though we have 2 maps open, we're just do it for a second. While it's loading, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. There's a lot of people here this morning. I'm happy to see everyone. And thanks for joining. We got David, Steve McGarrett, Bruce's Gaming, John Trailboss, PCS World, Model Houseman, Waylon. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here for this little thing. Just to be completely transparent, I did send a water and mirror. What is this? Oh, there's 2 water planes now. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Did I use the wrong one? Maybe. So this is the river. So we're going to do this. Export selection. And I don't care that it actually looks like flowing water because it's off the map. It just needs to be water. Save. Close that. No, I don't want to change it. And then we're here. We're going to file, import, water plane 1. Booyah. And this is the water on the map. Since it's below our map, so if we look physically, it's physically below our map. So if we raise it up a little bit, we can flood the river. And although it does pass underneath our map, going side to side, it's not like within the map's boundaries. So there's no like it doesn't affect our map at all because our map is, as you can see, physically higher in elevation, right? So it's not going to affect it. So we just hit save. Our map now has water on the outside borders. We're going to put this water plane right here next to this water plane. And technically, those two water planes should have the same height. Let's see if they do. 67, 75. Whoa. I raised that one up a lot, huh? This one should... what happens if I move this one up to 75? 75. Yeah, that floods a lot of trees. Let's do 70. What if I do this one at 70? Let's do them both the same height because that's how water works. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do them both at 70. It's good enough for me. All right. And save. We have water. Sweet. What's next? All right, let's do the deco houses. So now, one thing that we did when we fixed the map is now that these pieces of land are part of this, we should be able to sell all of these buildings that are placed like this. These are placed buildings. And here's the difference. We were talking about this earlier. So I've reorganized this sidebar. The one reason I reorganized this is because I can go like this and I can turn off all of the buildings in the entire map all at once. That's super valuable. Because if I'm trying to find a missing pixel, which I've already had to do once, where I forgot to paint a farmland or something like that, the houses are in the way. So it's really valuable to be able to turn off all the houses, turn off all the trees. Those kind of things are super valuable. So I reorganized it. And then I also organized them into folders. So we have like that. So we have placeholders. I should rename these successfully the same. That's fine. So we have placeholders for farm 1. So if I click on that and you look at it, it's just showing farm 1. So farm 1 is just this piece of land. Now there's a few things here that are not getting highlighted. And those are like this house. Come on. This house and this gas tank. Now those are pre-placed assets. You can see them in the pre-placed assets folder. Now I actually tried moving those into the placeholders folder and they broke. They didn't work. And I think the reason is that pre-placed assets refer to Giants assets. And I think that the fact that here, Farmhouse 01, this has the placeable on create on its own. And this folder has placeholders on create. Did I do that wrong? Hold on. Hold, please. Placeable on create. I think I might have done those wrong. Maybe this is supposed to be placeable on create. I bet it is. Placeholders is not a thing. What am I doing? Come on, Josh. I was using the wrong function. It still made them not show up, which is, I guess, good. And so here's the difference, right? And we're working on these farmhouses and stuff soon. So here's the difference. A pre-placed asset is something that's already on the map. And it only works for Giants assets. I wish it worked for everything because that would make map development so much easier. But it basically says these items are already placed on the map. Now the fact that it's in a folder called pre-placed assets, I don't think matters at all. I could call it banana chicken. It doesn't matter. What does matter is this piece right here. So the on create script callback. This is a script callback. This means when it's placed, that it's going to replace whatever that asset is. Where is it? This is a garden shed 5, and it's Let's go look at it. It is a garden shed 5 right behind this house. And I think I'm actually thinking about putting a few more of these around the map to give it a little bit more life. We're going to place a bunch of these. So when we place it, we have a unique ID. Now this is generated. It looks like a generated string. I don't have any generated strings, so I'm just going to make up some stuff. But you don't want to have two things having the same ID because look at it, it says unique ID. It has to be unique. And you will get an error in your log if you actually, if I duplicate this and just, if I just did this, right? Duplicate and put this pre-placed garden shed right here. Another one on this house right here as like a garage or something. This would throw an error in the game. And the reason is this unique ID is the same. So it ends in A2838. This one ends in A2838. Because they have the same unique ID, they're not unique because they're the same. And so if I wanted to have this shed here, maybe we'll move it not just next door to the first house, but maybe we'll move it, I don't know, over here. Right? Fortunately, I place it midair, which is not good. It's our house. Where would I put a garden shed if I lived here? If I lived here, I'd put a garden shed right here. Come on. And then we're going to rotate it around to face outwards. This is my garden shed. I'm going to put it right here because that's where I'm storing my tools. Right? Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to make this ID unique. I'm going to just call it 39. I'm just going to change the number slightly. And so now when we load into our map, this thing will already be there. And the map will basically replace this building with what's in this XML file name. Now, I wish it worked such that you could just use your local map file names here. I've been trying everything I can think of. I can't figure out a way to do it. If anyone else knows how to do this, please let me know. Because I would love to be able to tell other map makers how to do this, because it's like one of those things that's holding people up right now. But it'll replace this asset that's on the map with an XML asset. And the XML, if we look at this, garden sheds level 5, if we look into our game files, I don't have my code editor open for some reason. That's kind of silly. Data, show me the data. Oh, it's up here. We look into our game files, like the actual map, traceables, brand lists, garden sheds, level 5, garden shed 05 XML. Now the reason why we want this to be replaced from being a physical building to an XML file, the reason you want that, and this is the whole reason, there's two reasons. Number one, it's removable. If you buy this land, it then becomes sellable, which means you can remove it, because it does not say, it does say, can be sold, true, which means once you buy the land, you'll be able to sell it. That's number one. And number two, which is equally important, is that, like, if it has doors or something like that, so this one doesn't, but let's say garden shed 04, some of them have doors that open. You won't be able to open the doors without actually being able to open the doors, if that makes any sense. So you won't be able to do that. So let's say if we wanted to change this shed to be garden shed 04, can we do that? Let's do it. Technically, you could just do it right here. Just change that. But then it would look weird. So I don't know how to create a new pre-placed thing. A good question. I don't know. Anyways, I could just replace it with garden shed 04 we should figure out how to make a new. We have to make a new one, I think. Now this is getting into areas that I don't fully understand because it's all new. But let's worry about the decorations later. First of all, we need to make the houses sellable. So as of right now, between these houses, this one is sellable. But this one is not. Okay? Now the difference here, and the only difference is remember the folders? See how I said we have folders called placeholders? This is a placeholder because the folder itself says placeholders on create. It shouldn't say placeholders, it should say placeables. It's just, that's also wrong because I'm an idiot. Placeable on create, which means it won't create this house. But what it will do is allow me in my XML to place this as an actual asset, which means that I can then sell it. That's the big part here, is we can sell it. So if we look at, we jump over to our placeables file, right here, you can see down here at the bottom that I added sellable residential buildings. So in the map, I created a folder called residential, and I created an XML file called residential building 01. My unique ID is just 001 because it's the first one I did. And then this position right here, this position matches this position right here in the map. So it's the exact same position. So what I'm gonna do as a map maker, the idea here is I want to place it where it makes sense in the map, and I'm gonna paint around it and make it look pretty and all that kind of stuff. But then when I go into the game and you launch a map, I want to be able to sell this house if I buy this land. Now, since I've already gone through all the hard work of making every piece of land on the entire map sellable, this town, what if I wanted to make a farm build in this town? Totally could. It would be a very interesting farm build. And it would be up to the player to decide that. So I personally like to make everything sellable and let the player do whatever they want. But a lot of players will have to like use the map objects hider or something like that to do that. And that to me is a little bit of annoying. So let's go look at this house right here. This one is residential building 05. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to drag residential building 05 from there into here. Now notice that it didn't move. It didn't change. It hasn't moved. It's just in a different folder. The reason why it didn't move is because this placeables folder, which is just the placeables for decoration, is at 000. And this placeholders is also at 000. So when you move from one to the other, the positions of stuff doesn't change. That's super important. But now we have residential building 05. Now I want to replace this. And the way the code is set up right now is that if I load into the map, this would not be there. Because it's inside of this placeholder folder, which has this user attribute on it, which basically says don't render this when you create a new save game. So it's there for me as a map editor or builder to see it and build my map around it. Like if I wanted to come in here and like, let's say I wanted to have like, let's put some bushes. Let's put some blueberry bushes along the side. Just going to do a couple blueberry bushes around this, like along the side of this house. So if we look, now we've got some bushes along the house. But if this house doesn't render, right, it's going to look like this. And the bush is just going to be in the middle of nowhere. But as a map editor or builder, I can make put stuff around this house. Like I could put a chair on this front step, right? And then when the map renders, that chair would be where it needs to be. So let's just do that for fun. Let's file, import as reference, data, shared placeables, shared. I have a chair somewhere. Where's the chair? I have to think about that for a second. GitHub here, i3D exported. Okay, I'm gonna import a chair. Then I'm gonna press Control B, click. Control B, click. And so I'm gonna put a chair on the front step of this house and show you guys what happens. So now this chair is nicely placed on the front step of this house. It's a little bit of decoration, right? And I'm gonna put the chair in our placeholders folder, which means that it won't render. And I'm gonna add I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna add this right there. So this is part of this idea. So when this guy doesn't render, it won't render the chair either. But wait, I want the chair to be rendered. So I also want to make that chair sellable. So I can either do one of two ways. I can either make this chair its own asset so that it can be deleted, or I add the chair to the actual house, and then every single house will have that chair. Now, I don't necessarily care one way or the other. And we can talk about both ways of doing it, but let's start off with just doing this, right? And we'll see if the chair shows up. And I guarantee you it won't, but we'll just goof there. So this is Residential House 05. So let's switch over to our code real quick. And then we made a Residential Building 01. So we're just going to copy, paste, rename this one to Residential Building 05. This is how to make this building sellable. Enter. Residential Building 05. Residential Building 05. That's it. Save. This placeable has nothing in it. It basically says there's no leveling, no indoor, no update, nothing. It's just a building that's on the map. It doesn't matter because it's just a decoration. It does have a value of 2,000, which means when you sell it, you'll get $1,000 back. No big deal. Not super expensive or anything like that, but yeah. So the next step is, now that I have a building, I need to make it placeable. So we're going to come in here, copy, paste, Residential Building 05. But this one's Residential Building 02 because it's the second one we're doing. That these numbers don't matter as long as they're unique. So we're going to make it really easy to be unique by making it a number that counts up from 1. And then we need the position of this building. So if I come in here to Residential Building 01 or 05, the one that we're doing, I have this position. So I'm going to hit Control Shift C, and that'll copy all 3 numbers all at once. And then if I come over here to my editor, I hit V, just regular paste. It's already in memory, so I have all of those numbers. 3 digits of precision is really all you need for it to show up perfectly. So I'm going to remove the extra precision, and then it's 0, -90, 0. You can do the same thing for here for copying. Control Shift C, and then over here, Control Shift V. Precision. Thank you for doing something weird. And now we have another building that's sellable. And I always recommend when you're building maps to make small changes and test them. So let's go ahead and hit save. I'm going to hit save, and we're going to test this map and make sure this building is sellable. So let's go ahead and load into the map. And we're loading in. Oh, I called that. I just said that like a half second before it happened. New game, because we changed stuff. Always new game, which is the downside of building a map, is you have to do it over and over and over. Deselect all, start. Now, I'm not zipping this map up every time I check it. I'm just going, my mod folder right now is this folder, and I'm working out of the folder. So even though I have the map currently open, it doesn't matter. I don't need to zip it every time. If you had to zip your map file every time, I know because I do this for regular modding, it just adds so much time. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click on 38, which is the town area. I'm not going to buy it because I don't have enough money. Money add. This is the way I add money. Go down there again. Click on 38. Buy. Would you like to buy this land? Yes, thank you. And then if we go here, this is a new thing that I added, which I really like. Visit. So now we're going to teleport over there. And we are over here, right by these houses. And here is that house with the bushes out front, right? And we added these bushes to give it a little bit of flavor. The chair is there, which I'm a little surprised about. Let's make sure we can sell it. So we come in here, construction. So something's going on here where it's not doing what we expect. As you see this one, see that? Sellable. If I come in here, it's giving me a warning about the icon. We'll fix the icons later. And I can sell it. Oh, interesting. Oh, I see what's happening. It's not getting rid of the buildings. But it was doing it before. Wait. Was I right? Is this supposed to be placeholder on create? There's no way. There's no way. You know, I bet it was. I bet it's supposed to be placeholder on create. Because it's not getting rid of the building. Like, it's not getting rid of the building. And the way it was before is the way it should be. Okay. So if I undo all my work from this morning, it only lets you do a little bit further back. Placeable. I just made a change that I shouldn't have made. Interesting. How do you know? How do we know that what we're doing is the correct way to do it or not? Let's look at the original version of the map. Because he had a few things that would get removed, and it would do that thing properly. So let's look at the original version of the map. So we'll come in here. Harrison Farms. We're going to unzip the original version of the map. And it's basically going to create a folder inside a folder, which is fine. Maybe it's supposed to be placeholders on create. And there is a placeable on create and a placeholders on create. And there's two different functions. Maybe I'm just silly trying to make them the same. Let's find out. Let's open up another copy of the map, which is the old version of the map, not the current version, the old version. And like, see, you can see that the placeholder, user attributes, it's placeholders. It is placeholders on create. It is. Look at that. I was totally wrong. Wow. Okay. No. So this is, I was wrong. This is supposed to be placeholders on create. I mean, let's just change one and let's prove it. So I'm gonna hit save. Saving the map, 1037, done. quit. Let's do it one more time because the game was open. Save. Yeah, it's weird that those two functions are different. But we're gonna prove it, see whether that's the way it should be. While we're thinking about it, we're gonna go ahead and go open our icon generator and open this, and then open residential building. This is residential building 01, and we're going to generate a store icon for it. Oh, and the other residential building wouldn't have shown up. I just figured out why. So the other residential building wouldn't have shown up, and because we forgot a step. So we added it here in our placeables, residential building 05. But right now the game doesn't know about this file. And the reason is because we didn't add it to the mod desk. We have to add it here also. So it wouldn't have worked anyways. And the reason I know that, and the reason why I figured that out just now, is because this, the icon generator, looks at the contents of your mod desk file and loads all of the things that are part of that mod desk file. So here we have residential building 05, 01, 05. So now I'm going to generate an icon for residential building 05, which is what I wanted to do. And then now when I go into the game, I should have icons for those two buildings. So if we look here, nope. If we look, that's the data directory. Come back to the placeables folder. Now if I come into residential, where's residential? Am I just blind? Oh, wrong version of the map. Placeables, residential. Now we have this little icon of the house that you're deleting. We have a little icon of the house that you're deleting when you delete it, so that it actually has an icon, which is great. And then that's saved. Let's go on the map, make sure it works now. And if it is that placeholder, the whole placeholders on create thing and placeable on create, that's really confusing, Giants. Why would you have two functions that do the same thing? I don't understand that. In some ways, that's Giants. Yes, I know I have to zip my mods. I don't care. Continue. Deselect all. Start. This does look like one of the old yellow closses too. We don't have those in the game yet, but eventually it would be really nice to replace that with that cloth when it comes out, when whoever the modder is releases that. That was a nice tractor too. Gee, I should have just started out my game with more money, so I don't have to do this every time. You know what I'm gonna do, actually? I'm gonna make this so it's part of my starting farmland, so I don't have to keep buying it, because I'm gonna be testing this a lot. So we're gonna make it part of the starting farmland, so I don't have to deal with it. And then we'll turn it off later. Visit. So we're over here into our new area. Walking very, very slowly because the game likes us to walk very slowly. Okay. Okay, here's the thing. It worked. The reason I know it worked is because the chair's gone. So in other words, back to our model, anything inside this folder will get not rendered to the map, including the chair, because it's not rendered to the map. But actually we want the chair rendered to the map, and so we're gonna have to figure that out in a different way. And I will show you the two ways to do it. But if we come in here, come in, how do I get into construction mode? Isn't there a hotkey for that? I come in here, residential building, look, no error in the log. We have an icon, value $1,000. That's it. Sell, yes. sold. And now, if we look, it's gone. The house is not there. Take this one, sell. I just made $2,000. But I sold those houses and they're no longer there. To make sure that they're not there, I'm going to walk through where they were, because houses have collisions, and sometimes, if you don't do it right, you'll forget to remove the collisions. So we want to make sure those collisions get removed, and yada yada. Also to note, the little shed, that shed right there, we duplicated it and put it over here. It's not showing up. So there's something wrong with that shed. But that's fine. Not a huge deal, but problematic. A little bit problematic. So, but we did get 2 houses to be able to be deleted. So let's do the rest of them in this neighborhood. I'll do all of them later, but let's go ahead and do the rest of them now. Shift plus? Really? Oh, Shift P. Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you, McGarrett. P just goes into this menu. Shift P goes in. Ah, perfect. Thank you for that, Mr. McGarrett. I've been going through that menu system for 3 years, and I didn't know that. All right, let's quit out, and let's do the other houses. So the reason the chair didn't show up is because the chair is not part of this building. Now, if I wanted to get this chair into the map, I would have to do 2 things. If you look, my residential thing here, you can get rid of these files. We don't need them. This residential building XML doesn't have anything in it. And it's referring to stuff in the data directory. And let me say that one more time. It's referring to stuff in the data directory. Now, because it's referring to stuff in the data directory, you can't change the stuff in the data directory. So if I wanted to change it to add a chair onto this building, I would have to get this thing from the data directory, save it locally, add a chair to it, and then every time I use that building, it would have a chair. That's one way to do it. Now, you're still technically loading a lot of that from the data directory, but that means that you're going to have one more i3D file in your map. So let's do that just for fun, and I'll show you how that works. It's really easy. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go to our data directory. So maps, map US, textures, buildings, residential, R for residential, residential building, and then we have residential building 05. That's what it was. So I'm going to open up residential building 05. Now this is that same building. If I go in here and hit save as, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to move anything. I'm not going to move anything around. Save as. And then I'm going to pick my map. Harrison Farms, placeables, residential. Residential building 05. I don't want to say XML. I want to say i3D. And I'm hit save. Now this is my file. And so if I wanted to decorate this house, let's say I want to put that chair on this house. I'm going to go import, go find that chair again, which is in one of my folders for another thing where I imported a bunch of stuff. Let's do a rocking chair. So we're going to put a nice little rocking chair on the front porch of this house because that's cute. And then we're going to do file, import. We'll do a little bench. Put a little additional bench right here, kind of next to the front steps. Actually, I don't like that bench. Let's get the other bench. File, import, bench 03 maybe? Okay. That's fine. Move it out a little bit. We're not really keeping this, so I'm just doing an example, so it doesn't really matter. Do that. Set the height at 0. Okay. So now, if we hit save, right, this is now our own residential house. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit Control G to group it. I'm going to move it up here into the building. Call it props. And it looks like we have more than one bench somehow. Oh, I have 2. I must have duplicated it by accident. It says props. Hit save. Close this item out. Come into my XML. Just do this. On the right building. And hit placeables, residential. This. So if we look right here, we have residential building 05 to i3d and the shapes file for that building. And then we have residential building 05. And then we hit save. And then when we load into the game, that house will have that rocking chair on it. Right? And that's the idea, is we want to give it a little bit more flavor, a little bit more spice, because the basic buildings, as you've seen with Giants, they put these buildings around their maps and then they decorate around them, right? This is one way to do it. There is another way. Yeah, I could do the key bindings. I can't stand key bindings. They're so frustrating to do. But yes, I could. My big problem is I like to use basic key bindings because I have 3 computers that I'll use for farm sim, and I want the key bindings to always be the same, and I don't want to have to share key binding files and stuff like that. But that's a good call out, that you can make the key binding to something else. You could, you know, put it on the enter key if you want. I don't know why you would. But you select all. Start. So now the goal is, and we're hoping that when we go to that land, it'll be buyable, and if we sell the house, it'll show up with the chair and the bench, and then if we sell it, they'll both go away. That's the end goal. Right? Okay, and then escape, GS, money. We forgot to add that property as our default property. I'll do that in a second. I'm going to buy 38, visit. I don't really need to walk over there. But come in here. Camera and build mode is so much nicer. As you can see, our bench and the chair are sellable. See that? They're now sellable. If I click here and hit sell, they go away. So now the bench and the chair are part of that building, and they will sell with that building. But the problem here is now I have a i3d file on my thing that includes that building, right? Which is a large file. So if you look back at our file structure, right, now I have this additional i3d file, which is it's just under a megabyte with the shapes file too. And that's an additional megabyte. So 1 + 1 megabyte. And if I have 15 of these residential buildings, that means I'm going to have an extra 15 megabytes of size just to be able to add props, which is not necessarily the best idea, right? So how do we do that without making those files really big? One way to do it is like this. So again, we have the chair here. We don't need the chair here anymore. We can remove it. Let's open up that residential buildings file. And, whoops. Let's open up this one. And let's do what Giants does, which is make a props file. So if I come in here, and the way I've structured it, if I go in here and I click on props, props is the rocking chair and the bench, right, together. If I take the bench, right, rotate slightly, fix it. And let's say I add something like laundry or something like that. So I could go into, if I went into Elm Creek and I took the laundry, I should just do it and not talk about it. If I go into, not Elm Creek, Riverbend Springs, and I get some laundry. I want this guy to have a line of laundry outside his house. Right, that's what I want. So we're gonna go in here and I'm gonna add one more prop. And hopefully we won't crash GE because I'm opening 3 copies of GE at once. We shouldn't. That's the biggest benefit of actually streaming the way I stream, is that I'm not streaming with the same computer that I'm editing on. It's another computer handling the streaming duties. So we come down here, and as you can see, there's like decorations all around this house, right? There's just stuff. It's not like just a plain house. Like, if you look at the way Giants built it, if you click on the house, the farmhouse, they always do this thing like where it's a farmhouse place, right? And then they have the pre-placed farmhouse, right? Which is the same thing we have, which is the pre-placed farmhouse, the unique ID, blah, 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 blah. And then if you go into it, there's props. And so you have all of these props that are around the house, which are like ground textures and like trash cans and buckets and yada, yada, yada. All this stuff is around the house as props. So like props, and they name it whatever they want. So like there's a like the swing set is called props around, right? There's a chair. They put a chair in. If we look at details, no, place details, terrain decals, right? So they're just naming stuff around it. Attachments here, stuff that's attached. They're just naming things logically. Clothesline, prefab. So I want this. Export selection. And again, we're just doing the same thing. This is the same thing I would do normally if I'm just building a map of my own. I'm going to export a lot of these kind of stuff and do it, put it all into a folder, and then I'll have a library of stuff to do it. And this is the slow part of building a map, is making it look nice. Residential, and then this is, what's this called? Clothesline. O2. Put that there. Close out of this one. We don't need Riverbend Springs anymore. We're into our farmhouse. We're gonna add this in. So the one thing we just stole from Riverbend Springs, we're gonna import. Hey, SMBModding, welcome in. Thanks for being here. We're gonna add in the clothesline. We're gonna move it. And this clothesline is designed to come out from the house because of the way they built it. So we're gonna have it come out from the back door. So let's rotate that around like this. 0. And then move it like this. And then move it like this. Oh, and we don't want it to stick out that far. We want it to be right here. And we don't want to go through the chimney, because that's silly. And actually, if we move it like this, you won't even be able to tell that it's going to the house. So now I'm going to hit save. These are our props. So we have this little folder of just the props, just the stuff that we're adding to this house. So what we can do is File, Export Selection. And this is Residential Building 05. Props. Right? So if we hit save, what does that give us? Why would I do that? I don't understand, Josh. What are you doing? So what we're doing is we're creating a props file, which is essentially the same way Giants does it. But now if we open that props file, because we exported it, we can open it up. Now it's just the props, right? But it's centered on that house in the same way we want it centered. And like if you look, the rocking chair is floating, right? But this file, if you compare, this file is only total of 223 kilobytes versus the other one, which was like 900 kilobytes, right? And so since this is the only part that we want to add, we don't care about the building itself. All we do is we go into our XML for our building and we do dynamically loaded part, which has to be in a group of dynamically loaded parts. Do this, do that, this, props, and the link node is 0. Because residential building 05, if we look at it, we just want it to link to this visual LOD. So we're going to link it to this node right here. So they're centered on the same thing. Is there an empty one? I don't know if it needs the link node to be completely empty. That would be a bummer if it did. We're going to try linking into that one. See what happens. I don't know if that's going to cause a problem. It might. It might. We'll see. Well, then you just roll as a dynamically loaded part. And then we can take this URL and load the building itself from the base game. So we have less stuff in our file. Right? So all we've changed is the building, the props. We haven't changed anything else. All we're doing is trying to get this building to load fun, different ways. See if it works. I don't know if it'll work. Hope so. The core here is trying to load as little stuff from your map as possible, trying to keep it kind of contained, because as we were talking about, like here, this placeholders and pre-place thing, as long as, sorry, create a new game. I'll talk while the game is loading. I still forgot to buy that piece of land. It's okay, we'll do it next time, I guess. Somebody remind me before I do go into the game again without buying that land. Because we were talking about the placeholders, because of this user attribute, placeholders on create, which I messed up and tried to change, which we should go ahead and fix, because the whole map's not going to work the way we want. Placeholders are basically, so you can see them visually in the map, but the map removes them because of this script callback. That's why a placeholder is there. So that when I build the map, I'm not building an empty map. I'm building a map that I see and it looks good, and I can place trees and stuff around my buildings. But then when the map loads, it'll remove those. And so these two buildings now are in that placeholders folder instead of on our placeables folder, which was like a decoration folder. So basically so I remember which ones I've done. I'm moving it from one folder to the other. That's the only reason I'm doing it. And then the pre-placed ones again are, you have pre-placed assets, and they have a similar function, but that's called placeable on create. And the reason this function is different, I believe, is because it's going to replace this unique ID here with this XML file name. And for this part to work right here, this placeable on create, so remove what you have on the map, link it to this unique ID, and link it to this garden shed. For that to work, you need this line right here. Placeable, because you need the store to know that it's a placeable, and which basically links it to the part where you can remove it. And then you need those unique IDs to match. The unique ID from here has to match perfectly with the one in the map. But let's go ahead and start GS money, add a bunch of money. Come on, get out of my menu. Let's go buy it again. I'm actually gonna delete it this time. I swear I will do it. So we're gonna go buy the town again. Buy, yes. Click on it again, visit. We've done this a dozen times now. And if we walk over to where that house is, which is right over here, see the house has our laundry on it. Our little laundry line. We put a bush right where the laundry is going to be, so that's not going to be a good place to dry your laundry. We've got a bench on the front of the house. We've got a little rocking chair. And just those little touches, little teeny touches, make this a little bit more livable. And if we come in here and go into construction, we have the building, and we can sell it. And all of the decorations that went with it go away. Bye-bye. They all go away. So what we've done is we have a house from the base game with some decorations on it that's sellable in-game. So if someone wanted to buy the town and cut down all these trees and put a little farm in this area right here, that would be kind of a weird place to put a farm, but you have like this area here and this area here, that would be kind of an interesting farm. Totally do it. And that's the idea here, is just to like make the game more playable, I guess. Make it more unique. So like this house right here, sell the house, gone, bye-bye. And we made that sellable. So now we can make all of the houses sellable. And if we want to go through the process of decorating each house, we can. The other thing you can do that we didn't do, but we could do, is now that we're back on the map, actually let's close the game before we forget. And actually let's go into foliage paint mode, remove these bushes from the back because there's a clothesline there now. Because we put a clothesline on this house. Okay, perfect. Now that that's there, you could also technically come in here. This is our residential building. If I want to do file, import as reference, again, import as reference, the props. And then I'm going to take these props, I'm going to put them on our residential building here. I'm going to come in here and change this to 0, 0, 0, 0. And now I have our props. Why can't I move? What are you doing? Do I have paint mode on or something? The game's GE's kind of bugged. This, I don't know why it's positioned wrong. GE is totally bugged right now. Yeah, it doesn't like the fact that I have 4 of them open. Yes. Close. Sure. Yeah, GE's crashed again. Yeah, SMBModding, don't worry. Again, this is not... None of what we're doing here is to say that you built a bad map or anything like that. No. We're just making little improvements from a gameplay perspective. And not only honestly, And per the comment you sent me in Discord, thank you so much for that. It was really great, really nice. I think a lot of new map makers, it's a very overwhelming process building a map, and there's so much to learn and so much to know. And unfortunately, there are parts of this community that are not very forthcoming with sharing information. Sharing, oh, how'd you do that? How did I do that? Well, what am I doing wrong? People don't share that stuff. So, yeah, GE's totally crashed. I don't know what's going on. It totally was not responding to me at all. Here. Map US. Let's open it up again. One more time. While that's opening up, I'm going to do what I said I was not going to forget to do. And I'm going to make the town, which is 38, default farm property. So next time when I go to the map, I already own it, just for now while we're doing this. Okay, and then here, perfect, residential building 5, props. Now why is this offset slightly? Why is this not in the right position? That's weird. Not sure why those are not linking properly, but anyways, so we can import the props here just so we see them, so we can kind of see what it looks like, and we can put it in here, and then because it's in this placeholders folder, it won't render, and then we can just move on. But it also means that anytime I have residential building 05, they're always going to have the same clothesline, the same thing on the front of the map, the same thing right here on the front step, and the same thing there. Now, the reason that that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time is, number one, it's a good thing because that means it looks better and a little bit more life to the map. But the downside is that anytime I use this building, it's always going to have those same props. So what you could do is you could make separate props files for each building around your map if you wanted to get totally crazy with it. And each building would look unique. But since there's not really that many buildings, that may not be valuable at this time, because the next residential building 01 is like, I don't even know, deco houses, residential building 01. There's one more, and it's way over here. Oh, and not 01, we want 05. So 05. And here's the downside, is this residential building 05, though even though it's in the map, it doesn't look the same because we haven't imported the props. But this one would have the same exact props. It would have the same chair and the bench, but it doesn't make sense here. So you might want to, here in your custom residential buildings, you might want to have 2 or 3 versions, residential building A, residential building B. But the key is, and have different props. Because you're changing each of them from an XML standpoint, you're changing the props here, not changing the props in the model. And the key, and if we did like residential building 5, A, B, and C, each of them would be 700 megabytes, or 700 kilobytes. And so if we did 3 versions of it, that's 2 megabytes added to your file size, and that's not really worth it. But if we just did props that are different, these are much smaller files. So it's only 200 kilobytes. So 3 of them is only going to be 600 kilobytes. So you get the same value, smaller file size, basically. So I wouldn't recommend making your own copies of the base game buildings. I would leave those alone, and I would just do props files. And so if we do one more building, let's do one more. Let's do, because we're all in the same area, let's do this one right here. This is residential building 13. So start to finish, how do you make it sellable? We're gonna come in here, copy paste, rename 13, residential building 13, residential building 13, building 13. We don't have props or anything, that's fine. Save. Come in here real quick. I just go and look, pick the same folder again. It's not showing up there, which means it won't show up on the map, which means it won't show up here. So we need this one, this line here. We need residential building 1303 because it needs to be unique. And then go into our mod desk and add the store item for that building to make sure the store knows about it. Then we go back into our icon generator. Just select the folder again so it kind of re-parses the folder. Now at the bottom we have residential building 5 and residential building 13. Generate a store icon for residential building 13. Start to finish. Yada yada yada. Done. Come back in here to placeables. And now we need to get the position. The positions are unique to every house, obviously. Come in here. Control-Shift-C. Copy the location. 3 digits. We'll round a little bit if we have to. 3 digits of precision. And get the rotation. All right, save, save, save. And then we'll take this residential building 13 to mark it as done for us. Move it over here. It hasn't moved. The building's still in the same location. No big deal, except now it won't render when the map renders. And that's it. Now that building is sellable. So we come in here, we go into the map. And we do that one by one for everything. And obviously, after a little bit of time, I won't go in and out of the map every single time. I'll do like 4 or 5 buildings at once. Go in, make sure they're all sellable. Go out. Well, welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Welcome in, Dale. How is it going? And since this is this SMB has just finally joined, we'll show him what we did to his map. We've destroyed it. Just kidding. It's better, I swear. Continue. Deselect all. Start. You know what we'll do right now, since we already done the farmhouses a bunch, let's do the starting equipment. Since SMB is here, we'll let SMB pick up the starting equipment. So, SMB, if you're here, list out what vehicles you want. I know you want that Kloss harvester. What else do you want? We will buy it and we will set it up as starting equipment. I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. But we're here. If we go into the map, as you can see, we own 38 already because I set it as default property. So we own it already. So we're gonna go visit it. And visually, we look at the houses, make sure that they're where we expect them to be. It looks like this is here, this house is here, but the shed is not. The shed is not working, so we have to figure out why the shed's not working. That's fine, not a big deal. The house is here with the clothesline and the bench and the chair on the front step, the bushes around it. See, that looks good. I like that. I think that it's even just those little touches. The difference between that house and this house with those little touches makes a big deal. We could even put a car in the driveway if we wanted to. And as long as we put it into that props file, then the car in the driveway would automatically sell. So if we wanted to put a fake car in the driveway, we could. Let's go into our selling menu. And as you can see, since we own the land, now these things are highlightable. Sell. Sell. And this is the new one. We'd create a thumbnail for it. Residential building. Sell. Goodbye. Nice knowing you. You're gone. And as you can see, we can just sell it. And which means that if someone wanted to buy this land, they could just clear out all these buildings once I get that all done. And they'll be able to, you could build a farm here. This would be a kind of cool place to build a farm. You could set this up as your farmhouse. Maybe you don't want 2 houses on your farmhouse land, and you want to have like this where it be. Maybe you want to take these out and you want to put a husbandry here. Go for it. Have fun. But a quick tour on what we changed in the map. We haven't really changed very much. We fixed a bunch of bugs, but the big thing we changed is the farmlands. So here's the map. We took out the red borders because they're not needed. The map is almost aligned to the visual, the screenshot thing. It looks pretty good. I might not even touch it. The fields are mostly aligned to the map itself. So I think we're pretty good there. But as you see, we fixed the farmland. So like farmland 1 is just this piece right here. Farmland 2. Farmland 2 is just this piece here, but it also includes the buildings in between, little cutout. Farmland 19 includes the little cutout, includes this area over here. Farmland 19 and 20 are edge to edge, which means that if you bought both and deleted it, got rid of the trees in the middle, you could merge them into one field, or like Farmland 5. All one block, like how the block would be in real life. Like if you owned this land, you wouldn't just own the field. You'd own all of the land around it in a perfect little grid square. And that's the way land is owned. But that means if I buy this, then I need to be able to sell or do whatever with the things that are around that field to be able to, if I wanted to turn into just one big field. Like Farmland 4. That was the other thing we changed. Farmland 4, click, now includes the farm. So Farmland 4 and that farm are all together on one. It's a $100,000. It's an expensive field, but as you can see, we've made all of these spaces contingent to the fields they're in. So there's little bits of space. The biggest change is down here, where Farmland 33 is new. And it's this area right here that has a couple houses in it. It would be a cool place to build a farm. We'll make all those houses sellable. This field is pretty much the same. Oh, you know what? It crashed we crashed GE without saving that change to Farmland 25. I have to do that again. Yeah, I have to do that again. That's a bummer. We lost that change, folks. Sorry. Farmland 26, 27 are the same. But now, this area here, which has those sell points in it, is now one area to buy. And it's not very expensive, so if you want to put other sell points there, you can. Farmland 35 is this big open grassy area right here, which would be a cool place to build a farm. This area right here, I was thinking of making it kind of an industrial place and maybe putting a BGA back there. Farmland 37 is on this side of the street. Farmland 30 is here. The 38 is the town. We now can buy this long silvery piece here, and if you wanted to actually do something with it and get rid of those houses, then you could. Farmland 40 is here. It's more of a forestry area, and then Farmland 41 is where the sawmill is. So again, forestry. And then the last two are Farmland 31 and 32 that we added, which are basically just two chunks along the top of the map. They have lots of trees in there. Yeah, towards the end of the stream, yeah, I know. But thanks for coming in, Optimus. But that's basically it, and that's how the map loaded. So I think everything so far is going pretty good. One thing that's a little odd that I'm noticing right now is the whole map is wheat, corn, and soybeans. That's cool. How'd you do that? I don't even know how to do that. I think I know how, but how'd you do that? That's cool. Anyways, we fixed that stuff, and then the other thing we changed was down here is visit. Our seed shed's still here, which is a very, very big building just to buy seeds, but whatever. And then we added the co-op. So this is that co-op that was in the mod pack, or this pack of stuff. But this is like a buy and sell, I think. I think you sell on this side and buy on this side. I'm assuming. Right now it's not working. Like the triggers aren't showing up the way they should, so we'll have to fix that. But I figured one more buying and selling point here would not be bad. I did move the building that was there over here. So we still have these three things on the map. Only two of them are showing up though. The seed shed and the fertilizer shed, and then there's also this one right here, which I don't know why it's not showing up. I'll fix it. But just minor things. So basically now what we've done is we can do the entire map. So now the whole map's ours. So let's... Where's the store? I don't even know where the store is on this map. So if I go in here and I come in here and buy... Let's buy our starter tractor. Now let's get a medium tractor. It's a very kind of US-based map, so... John Deere. We could do Kloss, because there's a lot of Kloss in this area. Let's do New Holland. I like the New Holland. We take this and configure the New Holland however we want. Right? Blue Power Edition. Ooh, that looks nice. Panorama window. Hell yes. Front loader attacher. Yes, please. And we'll let the person upgrade it. So we're going to buy this. Yes. And tab. Oh, the shop is at our farm. That's interesting. We could actually put an actual shop here. Even just a simple one. We could make a simple shop to put in this area and kind of like fence it off so that you can tell that it's the shop area. I was always wondering what this area was for, but apparently it's the shop area. Let's make it look legit. But now that we've bought our tractor, we're going to go ahead and park our tractor in the garage. Oh, I think we have to open the man door. Yeah. To open these, you have to go inside, click the button, which makes sense. So that's the thumbnail shows a Kloss harvester, and so I'm thinking of doing a Kloss kind of. Actually, this is a workshop. This is not like a storage thing. So let's go over here, maybe. Where are we going to store this tractor? At least I don't need store deliveries. So we're going to park our tractor right here. We now have a tractor. Let's buy a harvester. I hate the menu system. I really do. We could just do a New Holland farm. No, actually, the one in there is a gold New Holland TR11. It's the gold one. Actually, no, it's the Kloss. It's this one. This map kind of needs the bigger harvester, right? We'll do a Kloss Lexion. And we'll use big tires for fun. Buy, yes. Okay. And we'll get a... where's combinations? Combinations. We'll get a big header. Get the big header. Buy. Yes. Okay. We'll get this thing. Buy. Yes. Okay. We'll get a... Actually, this is 10. No, 9. There's also a 13. I'll let people upgrade to the 13. And then we need a header trailer. Even though I don't like header trailers, we need header trailers. Yeah. So yeah, Harrison's run 2 class Lexions. Oh, well, I picked the right one. Look at that. Do you want me to get 2? That would be a pretty awesome start. 2 Lexions. They're not the yellow Lexions, because that would be really awesome. But let's get 2 Lexions. I don't have enough money. Not anymore. There we go. Now we have enough money. Let's see if I can pick the same tractor again. It goes Midas, wide, by, yes. I did get 2 headers. I'll get 1 corn header and 1 regular header. And if they want to player wants to buy another header, they can. Header trailers. No, those are for forage harvesting. Where's the header trailers? Header trailers. Such a like crappy set of header trailers. I never know which size to get. Wait, what size did I buy? 2 Lexions and New Holland. We have this, which doesn't need a header trailer. We did get this, which is 13 meters. 13 meters is 60 feet, is that right? Someone correct me. 13 meter, I'm gonna need quad tracks and class combines with 44-foot drapers and 12-row corn headers. Drapers? Do we have drapers in the game? We don't have cloth drapers. Do you want me to just use the Macdon draper? Can I make the... I can make it... New Holland. Ah, let's do that. Let's use the Macdon drapers, and we'll make them cloth screen. Then I don't have to buy header trailers. And then the 12-row corn header. Is this 12-row? That's 9. This one? Probably this one, right? That's a... Is this 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's 16. So we did get the right corn header. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's good enough. Good enough. And then you want quad tracks? All right. Quad tracks it is. I mean, we get to decide. We do whatever we want. This is your map. You do what you want, buddy. We want one crawler and one wheeled. They used the Macdons, so I picked the right one. Sweet. One crawler and one wheeled. Whoops. Why don't we have a quad track that has wheels? That's stupid. What the heck? That's annoying. Whatever. I guess we're getting 2 quad tracks then. Alright, let's go move some stuff. Let's sell the... Oh, what do they want as a small tractor? Do you want a small tractor? Like, I got this New Holland T7 because it has a front loader. And I got it as a small tractor. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But you tell me, and we will make things happen. So what we do, and the way we make, like, we're just buying equipment willy-nilly right now. But I did use US spec. I did, Optimus. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, there's a US and a spec for the headers. Okay, well, we got to get it right. I'm trying to open these doors so I can get the tractors in here. No, it's US spec. See, it's got the warning thingy-bobbers on there. Let's sell the header. Vehicles, 2 quad tracks, US spec because they have the thing on the front. The Macdon drapers you said were wrong. It's fine. Sell the cloth header. You said these were wrong. We'll buy them again. That's fine. Money doesn't matter. We have billions of dollars. Yeah, but we're just setting up starter equipment. So, I mean, when someone starts the map for the first time, let's give them what Harrison Farms has, right? Let's give them what the farm is running. That makes sense. And I think from a playability perspective, I kind of like having the store right here on the farm, but maybe we can decorate it a little bit next time. Okay, and then get this out of the way. This is the yard. Oh, I remember you talking about that. Okay. Interesting. Alright, we can decorate it like that. Thanks for... yeah, SMBModding sent me a screenshot of the actual location. Can you actually do me a favor, SMB? And also send me the actual address or whatever so I can actually look it up on Google Maps? That'd be really awesome. That'll help a lot. So we're going to put this corn header right here. And then back this thing out here so we can get the header trailer and just kind of slide it in. Okay. So Optimus said I bought the header, the Draper headers wrong, which is fine. I've never bought one of these before. So we have the... We want the MacDon branded design. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Select US transport wheels. Yes, we want the transport wheels. We totally bought it wrong. Totally bought it wrong. Perfect. So we're gonna buy. Yes. Okay. Buy. Yes. Okay. This farm is getting set up with all kinds of awesome stuff. I don't know if this thing can fit into this shed in this configuration. Can it? Yeah, I can if I don't clip the wall. Doesn't really fit, but I'm just gonna leave it like that and not connected. All right, there's one. I should have just driven straight. You're right, Optimus. Here's the other one. Oh wow, you actually set up the farm almost exactly the same way it's set up in real life. Look at this screenshot he sent me. I could leave the header outside. Could do that. The header does this Draper header, like the bar is not long enough. I'm gonna see if I can fit it in the shed, just for the fact of... I always like going into a farm and like having like the... You kind of have to like search and find the equipment, and you're like, oh, this is nice. They did that. Okay, this header is really making me angry. I need to use a tractor. Okay, so let's not try to collect it. Let's do what Bruce is saying. We're going to leave it outside. Boop. Boop. Gonna hide it in the corner. Header makes a good... Whoop. No. Don't do that. That's what I want. I want to, like, right there. I'm not a professional driver. I don't care. Well, we're setting up the farm, and so this is just an example. We'll need to obviously we'll need to get some trailers in here. We'll need to get like probably a Demco grain cart or something like that, and a big rig because they run a trucking company, so we'll have to get a big rig. Right. So there, let's get a big rig. Need an auger wagon. I think we're US. We should be going J&M for sure. Gray. Fine. Don't make it. They have a tracked one? I like the big tide runs. Okay, got that. We got truck. We'll do the Mack truck, not the Volvo. New or old? What do you guys think? Should we get a new truck or an old truck? Should we get like one of the new Macks or the old Superliner? We won't get the Volvos because that's more UK European thing. New says Bruce. New. What color? The building's red, so we'll go with red. We'll just do the Mack trucks red. I actually like the Mack trucks red. No, we're just gonna do the regular day cab. We'll let the user player upgrade these if they want them. Yes. Get international truck, same color. Not the flatbed. We'll do tipper. No. We'll do this. Select. Nice. If they're a trucking company, they'd probably... Oh, everyone's saying the different things. What are you doing to me? You're killing me. You say you want the old one? So SMB says the old one. So we're going to get the old Mac. Do you want to get one with the American flag and one without? Let's do that. There we go. That's an awesome truck, especially for an American farm. We need a semi-trailer. And I'm assuming Load King. Triple or Super B? This is a big farm. Hey, Northern Farm Sim, welcome in. The grain trucks don't have sleepers. But the steel trucks do. We're not doing steel, though. Oh, we can't make these things... I mean, that just looks awesome. Kind of cool. The trucks they have are all for the actual farm, are all painted as tractor colors. So they have an all over National awesome. Okay, I see. Unfortunately, the game doesn't allow us to do some of that stuff. I'm gonna go with the Super B for now, and we can obviously change that. Okay, so this is the one we're selling. Or do we? Let's do one new and one old. Let's move this. There. Triple. Oh, you don't do the super? Cool. Good to know. That's what I want to know. That's why I'm asking you. Do silver. Buy. Yes. A couple things to sell now. Anthems. Actually, no, we're going to keep the anthem. But we need to sell this thing. Sell. Yes. Sell. Yes. Hey, Farm Garage. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Well, I mean, the idea here is this is for Harrison Farms. Like, this is the idea is to replicate kind of what they use in real life, right? So, while it may seem like a heavy fleet, you know, it's got to be representative of what they're going to run kind of in real life, right? Right? Let's park that there. I picked this SMB, but if you want me to pick something else, I know we have the quad tracks, but you probably wouldn't run a quad track on this pulling one of these. So I mean, this thing is set up for big farming, so I mean the map is kind of set up for big farming, so we might as well go big. Right? So we're gonna go big. Let's get some big stuff. I'm gonna go Kinsey. I'm gonna go Kinsey for this. Buy, yes. We'll go with just going with the bigger stuff. Go with a Hardy sprayer. No. Breedall with the extra discs and the extension. Buy, yes. Cedar. $12 meters versus 15 meters. I think go with the Amazon. Customize. Sure. Tracked challengers on the grain carts. Oh, for the grain carts that you're running, they use tracked? Oh, cool. That's a good reason to buy them. So if we go over to the auger wagons, the Demco has, the one we have, has a tracked option. No. The J&M has a tracked option. So we could use this. Cedars are not US big farming friendly. What do you mean by that, Optimus? I'd love to know. Let's do that. Yes. And he said plural. Tracked challengers. Oh, tracked challengers. Oh, you didn't mean another seeder. You meant an actual challenger. Like the no. They use not this, but the tracked challenger, like the M700 or something like that, right? Not really a seeder that'd be here in the US. There are more European brands. There's not really a seeder that'd be in the US. Challengers or tractor, yeah. So I misread it. I understand now. It would probably be this kind of smaller tractor on the grain carts, right? So instead of the Challenger, you want to get a deer. Perfect. Okay. Do I get 2 or 1? US, obviously, US spec. Buy, yes. No, I bought some stuff that I don't want to buy. So let's do that. Hold on, I'm going to sell some stuff. Sell the New Holland. We're going to mess with people's heads. Let's do that. Let's mess with people's heads just for the sake of doing it. We're all over the place here. Yeah, I'm just going to use the site, the Amazon, because it's a big seeder. Because you got big fields. Yeah, the M700. That's one of my favorite tractors of all time. SMB. I love that tractor. This one I haven't. This was the one I haven't touched yet. So. Okay. Hold on. What am I doing here? Actually, I need a tractor just to pull stuff around the yard. Whoa! I didn't know that has duals. We'll get a Challenger. We'll just get this Challenger. And we'll use that for moving around the farm. So I can put some of this stuff away. They have 3 carts when running corn. Use 2 Challengers and a quad track. So I'll get a second cart then. 3 carts is a lot for a single player. 2 carts isn't that bad. Yeah, I wish that there was more availability of stuff like that in Farm Sim. Because I'm assuming that a lot of those more specific things, like to nail the farm like the way they have it set up, is going to be hard to do just because of the limitations of what we have available. Is this grain cart okay, or do you want me to get something different? Let me know while I move stuff around. Because I mean, the idea here is we have to outfit the farm with base game equipment, and I know that base game equipment isn't going to meet the needs of most players, and they'll want to put in modded equipment, but we don't want to include all the modded equipment ourselves. That's just too much. So we're going to go ahead and just do what we can with the existing equipment that we have, and just so we get people started if they want to. And plus, not only that, we're giving people a ton of stuff, and it's all brand new. They can just sell it and pick whatever if they want their own stuff or they want to use modded stuff, it's fine. Yeah, you might have what you need once Giants finishes and catches up with, all the backlog. So we have a cultivator, we have a seeder, we have a sprayer, we have a fertilizer. Hello. Sprayer and a fertilizer spreader, and that's pretty much all we need. We have grain carts. We have. Is there anything else major that I'm missing? I know right now we're just having fun like buying equipment, but the goal here is going to be to how do we put this into the new farmer mode, right? Little water tanker. If they do corn, you need a planter. Oh, good call. All right, you guys. If someone wants to jump in the game and actually decide which corn planter to get for me, I need to step away for just a second, and then I'll be right back. Almost nailed that one. All right, so we have to decide what to do with these tractors, but I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We had the J&M grain cart. We did it in gray. Select. We'll do a second one with tracks. So we'll do one with tracks, one without, just for fun. And then we'll do, we said a planter. We'll do the Kinsey. That makes sense. Details. Buy. Yes. Okay. We don't really need water, all that because we don't really have anything we need water for. This is a grain farm, so start them out with K-brand baler. Yes. Mowers is good. We'll do the K-brand mowers also because we're doing the K-brand baler. We have baler, mower. No. Yes. Okay. Now we have to find somewhere to put all this stuff. We have somewhere to put all of it. It's just a matter of actually doing it. One flat track trailer for the new truck. You got it. That's a good idea. The newer truck will have the flat deck. The older truck will have the grain carts for the distinction. Flat deck. Where am I going to find flat deck? And I think once we get the flat deck, we're pretty well set on just about everything. Where's the flat deck trailers? Bale transport, right? No. Where are the flat deck trailers? Low loaders. There we go. What's the difference here? Oh, why? Yes. It's going good. We are outfitting a farm. And so I'm going to go ahead and move stuff around. And we'll do that later. I'm going to have to head out soon. So I'm going to finish up the last step of our farm outfitting. And we are going to park the balers and the grass stuff in here. Find a place for the planter. Or you know what? I'll put the grass stuff in the workshop building. Even just having equipment around the farm really makes it feel like lived in, you know what I mean? Like it makes it feel like it's supposed to feel. Goes a long way. Right? Now the question here's the question. Here's the last question, right? That we'll be able to have time to deal with this stream. Is how do I take all of this equipment that I just spent, the past 45 minutes buying and configuring and whatnot? How do I take all of this equipment and make it usable? I'm gonna park this thing right here next to the diesel tank. How do I make it usable to the player, right? Because the player has to actually be able to use this equipment. And how do we get it into a new save game? It's super, super easy. It's actually really, really easy. Do that right there. I'm just like willy-nilly parking stuff wherever I want. And we got our John Deere. And our Merge Max. We still don't have a tractor, so we did get I think I'm gonna switch and get like another John Deere tractor, maybe like a 7R or an 8R, something that can run the front and rear mowers. Because right now we don't have anything that can actually run the front and rear mowers. We need something with front and rear capabilities. Well, let's just put this here for now, and I'm going to go ahead and save. So what you do is you create a new save game like this, with not touching anything else on the map. Create a new save game, save your game, and then you quit. So we'll do more with the equipment later. I'll have to do this again later. I'm just showing you how it works. Right? Close that for now. Now there is a file here in the configuration called vehicles. And obviously the vehicles are not set, right? There's nothing in here. Where do we get these vehicles from? So what you do is you switch over to your save game folder, which is right here. And that was a save game 5. And I go down to my vehicles. I hit Control A, copy, paste. Remove the double vehicles. Right? And remove, this is fine. We don't need namespaces stuff. And then now we have our vehicles. We're done. And the only thing you really need is this part right here. So you don't need price. Age is fine. Property state own. Operating time is the random operating time for that vehicle. This is in seconds, I believe. But you just don't need price because it'll automatically pull the price from the value that's in the game. So we're just reordering slightly. What's this North Star thing? I don't even know what that is. So we're going to remove price equals whatever. It is assigned to farm ID 5, farm ID 1, and then you also want us to say default farm property equals true. Now the reason you wanted to say default farm property equals true, we're going to go like this, and select all of the things that say farm ID, and then we're going to hit paste and paste into all of them. You want to say default farm property is true is if you go into start from scratch, then you don't get the vehicles. And that's the big thing that changes it. So this little flag right here on your vehicles file will change it. So as you can see, we've gone in here and we have all of the vehicles. So we have the Lexions, Quad Tracks, 2 Mac Dawn headers to go with the Lexions. We have our Mac Anthems. We have our JMF manufacturing. We can order them so we can kind of keep an eye on things. JM. Just saw it. Why am I not seeing it anymore? I'm blind, I swear. I thought we had 2 of those. But anyways, and because we copied it directly from our save game, if you look at each of these vehicles, now it's going to say configuration, but it's going to say position. See these things right here? Is the actual position of the vehicle on the map. So now if we hit save on this file, this is the file that's in our map. And we can change, and in this file, you can change some little stuff, like if you want them to be full of gas or if you want them to be whatever. If you want license plates, you can change the license plates for stuff that has license plates, whatever. You can change most of it. And the reason we do this without any mods is because if you want this thing to come with wear or damage, you can change those things right here. The washable things, all this stuff gets automatically created, but for the most part, you can just copy and paste. Anything you don't include here, it'll automatically generate when it creates a new one. That's fine. But then if we go into our map again, now we just created these save game vehicles. So I'm going to create a new save game in a new slot just to make sure I don't lose what I was working on. And then when we load it into a new save game, it'll have all of these vehicles. And they'll be parked where I parked them, because all I did was copy from my save game file into a new file. I still have to clean up that file a little bit. That's fine. But go into a new slot just to make sure. Continue. Deselect all, so we're only selecting our map, so we know that the map is loading without stuff from outside, which is important. And then we load it in, and it's going to load all the vehicles, and it's going to be part of our farm. Now again, there's still a few errors here and there from a few of the mods, but I'm just going to show SMP real quick before he goes, and then I have to go too. As we load in right here, right next to our truck, which is great. We have our truck. We have our vehicles literally in the spot where we left them. And so this is how to create your default vehicles for a map. Is you just do it in a save game, and then you copy from the save game over to the thing. Now, one thing we can figure out is, like, these doors are not open. The reason the doors are not open is because if we look, American Shed Pack configuration, do you see these animated objects say direction 0, direction 1? Right? We would have to configure them, right, to have these open. And so you could, again, get that from your actual save game. And if we go to placeables in the save game for save game 5, because I had all the doors open, we look for the American Shed Pack. Shed Pack. It doesn't show them being open, does it? Interesting. How does it save that it's open? Oh, these all say animated object time 1. See how it says time 1 for all of the ones that are open? These don't say time 1. So if I change this to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and we start a new save game, it'll start with the save game with the doors open. So that's what we want. We want people to be able to walk into the map and be like, oh, look at all my equipment. Look at all the stuff that I have. That's awesome. And then I can keep going. Hey, Michael, what's going on? Thanks for being here. And so we still have some stuff to move around, obviously. And we could do that with this save game or the original one. It doesn't matter. But this way, now we are starting off with a farm full of equipment, and we can go ahead and harvest this soybean field right away. And we have just about everything we need to do it. The other thing that I'll probably add to this farm that was added to the other farm, which is just for the sake of completeness, is we'll add in a fertilizer bin, a liquid herbicide bin, and a seed bin. So you have like storage bins to store those kind of like larger products. And I'll probably put them right here on this little piece of grass, as well as maybe like a water source or something like that, so that they have a place to get all of those, or maybe right here, like just completing the farm, because like the farm is a little sparse, so it's got some equipment on it now, but let's complete it and make it whole. Where is it? Containers, like these things, you know what I mean? Like I'll just do like this right here, this one right here, and there was another one from another pack on the other farm that we'll use over here, like, whoops, wrong way. This farm had a third bin. This one right here. So we'll do fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, and these meridian bins. So we'll use the meridian bins, and we'll have the same setup over here. So they have a place to store fertilizer and all that kind of stuff from the start. And then we'll actually decorate this a little bit to make it seem like it's the dealership. And that's where your starting pod is. And then we'll probably put like a instead of this icon, we'll probably put like a trailer or something like that, like a portable trailer right here, which is your quote unquote your store. And it's just like a portable dealership, and that's where you buy stuff and they get it delivered here. And we'll just make it seem realistic. But overall, like that's the idea, and that's what we're doing so far. So the next thing I have to do is go and make all of the rest of the houses sellable, which shouldn't be too hard. And then I have to finish moving around the equipment. We'll end up getting probably get this as the second like tractor around the farm. Where's the 7R? We'll get a 7R like this so that we can for the mowers. So we'll have 2 tractors, 2 John Deeres, and 2 cases, which will just mess with people's heads. 2 John Deeres, 2 cases, and then 2 Lexions, 2 quad tracks. Like we're like more than enough, and this will be more than enough people. But even if they want to start in multiplayer, you got all the equipment you need, and the mix in brands is always kind of fun. And because in all honesty, a lot of farmers are going to be that way. They're just going to have everything mixed. They're not going to care. They're just going to do what they need to do. And that's where we're going to go. And then we'll, next time we stream, we'll probably work on a little bit of touch up and polish. Maybe some terrain decals, maybe some road decals with road splines. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'll figure it out and I'll show you guys. But that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to have to go and get some other stuff done around the house. I'll say thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for jumping in. It's SMBModding. Thank you everyone. Cheers for SMBModding for coming in and hanging out in the stream and watching what we're doing and giving feedback. I'm just super happy to help out. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm learning stuff too while we're going on. You know that you've seen as I've gone on the stream. I don't know everything. I'm learning stuff too, and it's really great to be able to see not only modders willing to accept some help and willing to take some input from someone else. You know, that's great. And I think we're all here to help each other, and that's my thing. If you need help, if you're trying to build your map or trying to fix a mod or trying to do anything like that, reach out to me directly. Join the Discord. I need a button for that. Join the Discord. Let me know if you need help, and I'm happy to help. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. I haven't been playing the game as much, mainly because I'm having more fun modding and map editing and all that kind of stuff right now. But that's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna say thank you everyone for being here. I'll catch everyone next time. Special thank you to the people who sponsor this channel through membership. We have our AI group. Add that little A and I in the name for Gaming Joy. We have our always involved list, our awesome individuals and amazing impact people who also contribute through Ko-Fi. So thank you everyone for all of that help. It makes this channel go, it makes this channel grow, and all of that impact goes right back into the community by creating new mods and new things and fighting with ModHub to get mods out to everyone. Thanks for being here. Catch everyone next time. Bye-bye. Yes, you are awesome. Later, 3J.